On a quiet morning in 1915, the battlefield didn't explode. It breathed. A slow-moving cloud rolled across no man's land, and soldiers didn't hear death approaching. They saw the air itself change color, and then it started to understand this moment. We go back to World War I, a war that began in 1914 and swallowed the entire world. On the Western Front, soldiers lived inside deep trenches carved into France and Belgium. Mud, barbed wire, endless silence, broken only by distant explosions. Between both sides lay no man's land, a strip of earth destroyed, so it no longer looked like land. For years, both armies tried everything to break the deadlock. Mass infantry attacks, machine guns, artillery barrages, but nothing worked. The war refused to move, and that's when desperation changed the rules of war. It started with something strange, a drifting cloud on the battlefield at first. Soldiers thought it was smoke, maybe another artillery strike, but it wasn't smoke. It was silent, no sound, no explosion, just air, moving like it was alive. Then it reached the trenches. A soldier barely 19 wrote in his last letter home, "I can't see my hands anymore. The air is burning my throat." Men began coughing violently, dropping their rifles, clutching their eyes like they were being set on fire from the inside. This was chlorine gas, the first large-scale chemical weapon ever used in war. But what came next was far worse. Soon, another weapon appeared, mustard gas. It didn't announce itself. It didn't rush. It waited hours after exposure. Soldiers would begin to feel it. Blindness, skin burning as if melted, lungs slowly filling with fluid. Some men didn't even realize they were poisoned until it was already too late. And unlike bullets, there was no cover, no trench deep enough, no wall strong enough, because this weapon didn't attack soldiers. It attacked everything they breathed. At Ypres in 1915, the sky itself changed the course of war. A massive release of gas was deployed across enemy lines, carried by wind. It drifted directly into the trenches. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then reality collapsed. Men screamed without understanding why. Some ran blindly into Fenep, no man's land. Others tried to fight an enemy they couldn't see, but there was nothing to shoot, nothing to stab. The battlefield had turned invisible, and entire defensive lines collapsed. Bullet fired, but war never stays still. Within months, both sides began producing chemical weapons at industrial scale. Scientists were pulled out of laboratories and placed into war factories. Chemistry became strategy. Air became intelligence. Wind direction became life or death. Information gas masks became standard issue. Soldiers trained not just to fight, but to survive breathing. Yet even behind protection, fear never disappeared, because every breath reminded them the air could betray you at any moment. Step 7. Aftermath 422 for 45. When the war ended in 1918, the world did not return. Unchanged. Soldiers came home with lungs that never fully healed, burned skin, and memories they could never explain to anyone who wasn't there. Battlefields were left scarred, but the deeper damage was invisible. World War I didn't just change how wars were fought. It changed what war was, because after that conflict, even the air itself could no longer be trusted, and humanity learned something it could never unlearn: safety.